God, I hate my life. That's the story of every person everywhere over the age of 18, because what in the name of my Lord and Savior Rias Gremory did I get myself into? Waking up at 5:30 am to go to some nonsense job, grinding for 8 hours, dealing with bullshit bosses and co-workers, getting paid minimum wage, getting back home at 7 p.m, forgetting what sunlight looks like, losing all the money I earn to expenses and continuing it day after day, week after week, so I don't starve to death or end up on the streets. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, having no prospects, no growth in my career, and growth in my career just meaning more responsibility, seeing random dropkicks on TikTok and Instagram jacking off to themselves in the mirror, earning triple my family income in the first minute. Fuck this shit. Life seems to be like a bullshit escalator of the 9 to 5 where you're running as fast as you can to the top whilst the escalator is moving down faster, so either you keep up or you die. But don't worry, it's only the one life you have that you're wasting. Not that big of a deal, right? That's why you should watch anime. Confused? So are the people who designed this shithouse system. But let's take it back a second. Anime is a portal to another world. Alright, let me say that again without sounding like a gay 12-year-old who thought real Beyblades would actually cause a lightning storm. Life, for the most part, sucks balls. Sometimes metaphorically and sometimes literally. The repetition and stress, the pressure and the weight, being cucked by your best mate Ryan and getting shat on by Karens who have the words, "I want to speak to your manager," drilled into their brains if they have any. If you're under 18 and you snuck past the YouTube algorithm to watch this on a random night, congrats. You discovered what the adults feel like on a day-to-day basis. Anime is lots of things for me, but has and always will be, if nothing else, an escape from the grim reality of life. Everything is better in anime. The food, the girls, the vibe, the visuals, and the people. I know co-workers who I'd rather avoid more than this fucking pedo. But unlike just enjoying another show, your mind enters a completely different world. Fictional, yes, but you're constantly living in your mind's recreation of the world around you anyway. If you ingest drugs like MDMA or the cock of a maid cosplayer at an anime event, the world your mind creates becomes real for you. I'm not saying I've done both, and I'm not saying I've done neither. I'm saying that when Gaara figured out that his mom really loved him, or that Taki wrote his true feelings on Mitsuha's hand rather than his name, or the death of Eren's mother or Nina was experimented on by her own father, I cried and cried and cried like my soul was ripped out of my chest and stomped on in 100 different ways. I'm saying that when Zenitsu woke up ready to fight, or when Eren had his first transformation, or when Frieza was struck down like a fucking insect, I cheered louder than when I finished my year 12 exams. I'm saying that I went into the depths of the H anime and found vintage gold that people neglected to fap to because of the weak graphics and gave them the respect they deserved. I'm gonna be real here. Getting made fun of for liking anime back in the day was a very common thing, especially when it didn't blow up the way it has today. It was a sign that your life was so shit you had to find joy in cartoons and animated pixels. But you know what? Most people's lives are shit in one way or another. Someone out there is going through something in some way. Illness, unemployment, employment, cost of living, bills, loneliness, depression, anxiety. This whole video could just be a list of all the bullshit we have to live through. Life's hard, man, but call me whatever you want. Seeing Naruto power his way through absolutely everything made me think that I could as well. Seeing Shoya love himself made me think I could as well. Seeing harem protagonists pull mad bitches made me think that I could as well. And whether I can or can't do all of these things, these characters gave me the courage and strength to push on. I mean, who else did I have? The most important thing to remember about anime and manga is that these are the creations of people that we can't see and will likely never meet in our entire lives. I'm never gonna get the chance to meet Akira Toriyama, who passed away, or the souls of Kyoto Animation, who lost their lives to a horrendous and heartbreaking arson attack. But their writings, their characters, their ideas, their visuals, their music, the time and effort and long days and nights, the struggles and grit they faced and poured into their creations will live on for all time. I honestly feel bad for those who haven't seen this medium. Explaining anime to them is like trying to describe what candy tastes like to someone who doesn't have taste buds, and that's not a sign of superiority like, "Oh, I watch anime, haha, you fucking normie bitch." It's a genuine feeling that someone out there is missing out on something beautiful. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess something about you with 100% accuracy. You probably spend more time in the future and the past than in the present. Yeah, I know, crazy prediction, calm down, don't start unzipping just yet, mate. Anime brings your attention into the present. All of your worries and concerns, stresses and pressures, negative thoughts and doubts just wash away as you enter into another world completely different from your own. It's like a visual drug your mind ingests from your eyes, rather than that shit the shady guy puts into your drink at every high school party. Time is running out. It really is. You wish tomorrow didn't come, but it does. You wish that you could stay in your bed in the morning forever, but you can't. You wish you spent that day with your grandma because you didn't know the one before was gonna be the last. You wish you could just be, rather than continuing to wish to become. Again, say whatever you want. Call me whatever you want. Judge my life however you want. I'll make fun of me with you, but I learned these lessons and many others through anime. Everyone starts their anime journey in their own unique way. Some learn it through friends, some discover a show they loved since they were a kid. It was Zatch Bell for me. Some were even around since before Boku no Pico became a meme and actually led to many young men discovering something called getting baited like a dumb fucking bitch. My first anime was Zatch Bell. Most of you have probably never heard of it and maybe never will, but it made me cry, laugh, think so much that I binged all 150 episodes in a row when I found it again. Your Name was so perfect, I fall asleep to the music found in it and have seen it 20 times. High School of the Dead was so wild, I craved a zombie apocalypse could hit so I could find myself getting out of my bullshit, mundane life to fight for survival surrounded by hot bitches that are programmed to do nothing but love me. I found whole communities online who did nothing but talk about the most interesting topics I've ever heard, ranging from what the One Piece is, to whether Light Yagami, the genocidal utopian madman, was actually a good guy, to whether it's physically possible to have the proportions of anime titties in real life, to topics of severe mental illness, daily struggles, and personal insecurities. I said it before and I'll say it again. Anime is its own world, and wanting to escape to it, especially when life gets tough, is one of the biggest reasons we watched and still continue to watch it. You can disagree if you want, but I think there's nothing wrong in that. On the contrary, I think closing off your mind and deciding that animated cartoons aren't for you is one of the most depressing things you can do. But to be completely honest, I don't really give a shit if anyone watches anime or not. I know tons of people who dropped it after they reached a certain age because they just didn't care about it anymore, or they thought it was childish, or they've got other priorities or interests. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. But I can't let it go. Ever. That doesn't mean I'll neglect my life and do nothing but immerse myself into this without seeing daylight. And if you're doing that, for fuck's sake, man, get out of the house for a bit, you fucking dope, you need to stay healthy. But it means that when I reach the end of my life and I've thanked God, my family, friends, and everyone that helped me out, somewhere in the corner of my mind, somewhere where other people can't see, somewhere where only I am, I know I'm going to be grateful that I was able to experience this insane, ever-changing, powerful, and mesmerizing medium that changed my experience of the world and, as a consequence, my life forever. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, thank you, anime. That's it. Till next time.